All right, here we are. No more popcorn. This is a very exciting day. Yeah, for me especially.
Yeah.
I've been very excited for this. We went and watched the premiere of Three from Hell, Rob Zombie's new movie. Yes, now we are going to attempt a spoiler-free...
Spoil as best we can.
As best we can. So please do not kill us if there's some little nuance that we end up talking about. I swear we're not trying to...
Oh, I'm doing a frame-by-frame reenactment of this movie.
Yeah, so this is a Fathom Events thing. You either catch it tonight, tomorrow, or Wednesday, and that's it. Those are your only opportunities in the theater.
By the time you see this, it's already done.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going up tonight.
Oh, okay, cool.
This will be up Tuesday. So if you get a chance, Tuesday or Wednesday,
get in while you can.
Get out and see it in the theater.
Nice.
You'll get some special features, I think, the next 2 nights after the movie.
Tonight was a limited poster. The first 50 people in. Tomorrow is a making of featurette, and then Wednesday is a double feature of Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell.
Damn.
Which brings us to say that this is the third installment in the Firefly franchise.
Firefly, yeah, brown coats. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Nathan.
Space Cowboys.
Is that what we're talking
Nathan
about?
Fillion.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion.
I don't know anything about this.
God damn.
How do you not know about Firefly?
Well, I mean, I've heard people talk about it, but this is my
This
Firefly.
is your Firefly.
Yeah.
It wasn't a show before this, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, are you angry? Like, calm down.
You could say it's your Star Trek.
It's my Star Trek.
Yeah.
Firefly is my Star Trek.
Yeah.
All right, so Devil's Rejects came out 15 years. Well, was finished filming 15 years ago. I think it was released 14 years ago. So this is the much anticipated sequel, I guess I would say. Like, people have talked for a long time, like, oh my God, is he ever going to make another movie involving these characters? And there was a little short snippet at the beginning of this tonight where Rob Zombie was basically doing an intro to the film, and he said that he never really had any there was never any kind of like he never thought he was going to make another movie about it.
It's like he's hanging out outside of one of his concerts, like,
which probably
he's got like a vodka soda in his hand or something, and he's like, say something about Three from Hell. He's like, all right,
yeah. It did seem
pretty awesome, you know. Talk to everybody, and they're like, let's do it. 3 years. That's how long it took to make.
Well, I was just telling Nathan outside while you were pooping, Patrick, that like, this was we'll just go ahead and say sold out. I think there were like maybe 10 seats or something like that weren't taken up. Yeah. Which we were surprised on. You know, Rachel and I were sitting there the other day. She had actually came to visit me at work, and we're like, oh, let's go ahead and order those tickets for Monday. And we're like, holy shit, everything aside from the 2 front rows had been sold out.
We were like, shit.
Yeah,
I'm driving at work and I'm buying tickets.
Yeah, when I was I thought those were back rows for some reason when I first picked them, and then I was bummed out when they were front rows.
Back rows sucks, man.
I have to say I was okay. It's been a long time. I don't think I've sat that close to the screen since Force Awakens. That was the last time I was like that close.
The last time I was that close, I watched Prince of Egypt.
There's so many questions I have about that. But anyway, all that to say that like, it's so cool going to the theater full of people who, it's not like people are just randomly like going, oh, hey, what's playing? Oh, let's go check this out. Packed full theater, no bullshit. No one was, texting or screaming or
they did
chit-chatting.
The clapping. Why are you clapping at a movie?
You're one of those people.
It's not a live show.
They weren't clapping during the movie.
No, it was at the beginning. Yeah. That's what I'm like. It's not a live show.
I've heard some people on YouTube that get angry at that. To me, it makes me happy. I was kind of hoping. I was fighting it back. I was like, I just want to be like, fuck yeah.
They do it in Star Wars and shit. It's annoying.
I remember going to see Star Trek 6 with my dad when I was a kid, which of all the Star Trek movies, that's one of the better ones. It's probably my favorite.
In Search of Spock?
No. This would be the Undiscovered Country, I think is what it's called. Okay. It's about this war of the Klingons and stuff. But anyway, at the end of that movie, it was a packed theater. I remember, and at the end the Klingon bird of prey gets destroyed, explodes, and I remember everybody jumping up and just fucking cheering in that theater. And I thought that was a cool. Obviously I still remember it. However many years ago, but that was so cool.
Yeah. So all that to say, this was a true testament to a good movie theater experience.
Good crowd. Yeah.
Very good
Nobody talking and
there was a cell phone that rang. I did hear that. That bastard.
Rat bastard.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have a hard time doing spoiler-free because we never do that. So, basically, this film, if you remember at the end of Devil's Rejects, they get mowed down. So, everyone's question going in was like, how are they going to make sense of
them being
Captain
alive.
Spaulding, Otis, and Baby getting completely mowed down by... a line of fucking armed cops while Freebird was playing. It was possibly the most epic ending of a fucking horror movie, in my opinion.
They each had 20 bullet holes.
Yeah, so each had 20 bullet holes pumped into them.
No.
Yeah, so once again, kind of spoiler free. We'll leave it up to you to go watch it and check it out and see how they get out of it.
Let's give kind of the beginning setup. I mean, they're gonna find it out early. If you want, because. You know what I mean?
I mean, we can do like a general
give a
thing.
Little bit.
It won't be spoilerish.
Well, I mean, all I was going to say is the gist of this is they have survived. And your main thing on this movie is watching Otis, Baby, and their half-brother, played by Richard Brake, go on,
Yeah, I just wanted to give this setup because just that very beginning, because it's running through this kind of, it's like a newscast.
Yes.
But I just like that the whole... showing them going in the hospital, and it's like they each had 20 bullet wounds, and somehow they all survived. It's almost like, okay, it's like, how do you get away from it? They got shot up to shit, but somehow they were okay.
Yeah. Which I'm okay. I'm okay with that approach because it's just like, yes, it's outlandish and yes, it's silly, but we're talking about surviving a fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's any other way they possibly could have done it other than they went to hell.
I thought this movie might have been set in hell. I mean, before I didn't know anything. I didn't read about it.
I was hoping
is this
for
going to be actually in hell?
I was hoping for some darkness or something in this.
Yeah.
Like the first one. This one felt more tame than the other two. It didn't feel as gory or as raw as the first or the second one.
I love the approach to it.
I'm
not arguing against what you're saying because
it felt more comical to
me.
me.
It's like if you listen to Rob Zombie talk about, which I don't side with him, he hates A House of a Thousand Corpses. He was like, God, he's like, I really wish I could redo that movie. I love it.
Yeah.
I know everyone gives it shit. They're like, oh, it's just, a Texas Chainsaw ripoff. And it's like, well, so what? Texas Chainsaw kicked ass and so does House of a Thousand Corpses. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Devil's Rejects definitely got a lot darker.
Yeah.
But I love the amount, this movie had a great deal of humor in it. And I don't know if that's as much because of the fact that we've these characters are established. We know who they are, so them joking around, like, because they did a lot of it in Devil's Rejects. Yeah. So there's a heavy amount of it in here, and I'm okay with it, though, because, Rob Zombie doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't fuck around. It's not like his kill scenes are tame.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very brutal.
Yeah, I thought it was very brutal.
And so I feel like it's kind of important or nice to have that balance with the humor, because I mean, you got to remember, these are your people that you are liking and rooting for are terrible people.
I know they are.
They're awful, but like you're somehow able to like love them and you want to see more of them. And
kind of. The humor was my favorite part of the movie, but at the same time, it kind of. I don't know if I'm going to get into this yet. I guess I will. Part of what I was thinking back to those first two movies, which I had not seen, 10 years ago. It's been a long time, and what I remember feeling then was I liked them, but I didn't really feel good about them. Like, I just felt like shit after watching them, and I kind of still felt that with this movie too. It seems just very nihilistic to me, and maybe it's just where I am now that I don't need more of that. and even though the jokes at times were funny, it almost made it worse because it's like these people are doing the worst shit. And they're just like laughing it up.
You're laughing with them.
Yeah, and you're having
yeah.
a good time. And you're just like, man, it's just so... It felt pretty dark to me. I know you're saying it was tamer, but it felt dark to me.
I don't know. Once again, and this isn't... I mean, this is the beautiful thing about his movies, in my opinion. I know people that are very close to me that think that his movies are just complete trash. I just fall on the side of the fence and I think they're fucking great. And I think it's extremely applaudable what he has been able to accomplish, where you're going to watch a franchise, or well, now a franchise, about this family that are just fucking awful people, and you somehow love them. As far as the tame thing, I think just because of the amount of humor that they put in this, I wouldn't consider it tame. There was one point where I thought, which, Rachel doesn't like the extreme stuff like we do.
Yeah.
But there is one scene in particular in this movie that, if you've watched the other two, you kind of expect to see, we'll say, a very hard scenes where they're not afraid to fuck around with certain uncomfortable sexual situations and stuff like that. Kind of rapey, kind of, stuff like that.
And I was actually thinking about that during the movie, where he wants, they're just the worst people ever, but he still wants you to kind of be on their side. And I was thinking about that when at one point he jokes about raping this girl. Like he has the girl sucking his finger, and he's like, you'll get the dick later. And I was thinking about that, and then he can hint at it, but if you actually showed that, everybody would turn off of that. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
You can watch him kill people all day long, but if it actually showed him raping her, you would I think you would lose the audience at that point. Completely.
Absolutely. I mean, if I could interject, I think that it's like, if you will, I mean, I do think his approach has a little bit of tact to it. I feel like he knows, like, okay, we can go this far. It can show Otis Driftwood sitting next to a girl that has clearly been sexually assaulted and beat the fuck out of, and they're now sitting here watching TV.
She's just sitting there naked, crying.
Yes, but if they were to show the scene, then it would just be too much. It's like, I feel like it'd be harder to follow up a rape scene with like an actual joke, like, "Shoo, that was fun," Tucker me out. God damn, I'm tired. I can't even imagine how you're feeling. I feel like it's so. I appreciate the fact that he knows when to dial it back.
Got anything in the fridge? I need some calories.
There's also some really cool cameos in this one. Well, actually, before we touch on that,
what's his name? Just looked terrible.
You talking about Clint Howard?
Was it Clint Howard?
That was Clint Howard. Yeah.
So Clint Howard. So. We'll just
he's in it.
Yeah.
That's not who I was talking about, though.
Okay, yeah. Clint Howard makes an appearance as Mr. Baggy Britches, who was a clown, and that was an extremely fun scene.
I would actually that was probably my favorite scene. Now that I think about it.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about comedic relief. That was great to a T. But it's also him just like. It's part of it is him being Clint Howard, who is not like he's a gem behind camera, but he kind of is. He kind of is unintentionally.
Gem behind camera.
You had Danny Trejo in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There's all sorts of awesome Easter eggs throughout this movie too. I know. I'll just keep using the term fanboy. I mean, I love this whole thing, but there's a ton of stuff in the background from like things that they're watching on TV. It's little lines that they reference. Like my favorite is, let's go get fucked up, and Baby Sherry Moon Zombie's like, and do fucked up shit. And if you guys recognize, that's a line from House of 1,000. Fuck, what was I gonna say?
What's that dude's name that played the clown? The from the other movies.
Sid Haig.
Yeah, he looked awful.
That's who he's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I forgot.
You're
like
good.
I said, I'm so hyped up on this. I've been so excited.
So I'm like, he's got to be having cancer or something. I don't know, because he's.
Well, his accident, if you guys aren't aware, Sid Haig took a tumble a couple of weeks ago, and his wife had put something out, I believe, on like Twitter or Instagram or something, saying, Sid is in ICU, send thoughts and all that good shit that people do. But he he pulled through. I read her statement that she made like a week ago about it that was saying he had taken a fall and fucked some shit up, but like I guess like the scariest part ended up being like he ended up like he had a breathing tube or something and they took it out and he like vomited in his sleep and it got in his lungs and all this shit, so they had to like suck all that out and all this crap to keep an infection from setting in. But he is good. Now once again with spoiler free, and I guess we'll consider this to be spoiler free, but I feel it important to say don't go into this and expecting Sid Haig, because he is. I do think they handled it well as far as what they did with the character, which this is a fun little thing. Fun, I don't really know why I said fun, but this is something that I read, that Lionsgate actually told Rob Zombie and them, like, no Sid Haig, no movie. And this is legit. So I like the way they approached
Here's
it.
5 minutes of...
Yes, which is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You get an explanation of what happened to him after they were all shut up at the end of Devil's Reject. Now, he is in it.
He's got a good little speech. Yeah.
Yes. But, I mean, this man, like Rachel and I were talking about on the ride back from the theater.
He looks so
This
decrepit.
dude's like, he's in his 80s.
Yeah.
And it's like when you realistically look at it, like I don't doubt in my mind, like the way that was worded that I read, like, Lionsgate said, oh, hey, no Sid Haig, no movie. I think it words it kind of maliciously. I don't have a doubt in my mind that Rob Zombie was like, of course we got to have fucking Sid Haig.
Yeah.
And I could just kind of see Sid being like, at this point, just like, brother, I'm fucking like 85 years old or whatever. He's like, I can't do this shit anymore. Like, I mean, honestly, to think about him doing his role in Devil's Rejects, that would have put him in his 60s.
I didn't think he was that old, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felt kind of more actiony, this movie.
I love the end.
Yeah.
Is that what you're...
Like, well, I won't say that, but it felt more towards an action movie than it did a horror movie for me.
I mean, you're talking about the end. It almost goes Western feeling.
Well, yeah, Western, yeah.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking on like kind of like a tone
Robert
and an atmosphere
Rodriguez kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This totally sticks with Zombies. He loves the 70s, and I love it too. I mean, his music choices are always badass. I love the fact that he keeps in that 70s era. I think it's awesome. I loved the fact that Sherry Moon Zombie's character like really stood out in this one. I feel like she was kind of the main star of it, in my opinion.
Got a little... It was almost a little too much for me.
Really?
On the obnoxious level. Yeah. I
feel
mean,
like trying to be Harley Quinn or something.
just like, I'm so crazy and extreme, but I'll kill all of you.
Yeah.
It just, look at the white cat.
That part was great. Yeah.
It was cool. I just feel like I did kind of roll my eyes a little bit. There were times where all three characters are just, they're giving their speeches, and it's just like, it's them, I'm going to show you how fucking badass I am. And it's like they were listening to Charles Manson recordings, and they were like, let's try to sound like that. It's like, I'm the baddest motherfucker, these kind of things. I was like, yeah, I get it. You're evil. You're evil. You're really evil.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, that is a staple of those characters throughout the movie. I mean, like one of my favorites is in Devil's Rejects, Otis. There's this whole really infamous shot where he's, about to bash this dude's head in with a fucking rock. He's leaning over him. He's giving this whole speech. Like, pray. I want you to pray to your God. And the guy's like, oh, God, bless the little bunnies and bless, and all this like weird random shit. And then Otis is like, oh, he starts acting like he feels the Holy Spirit like taking over his body. And then he stops. And the guy's looking at him like, oh, did it work? And then Otis goes on to give the whole infamous, I'm the devil and I'm here to do the devil's work. Yeah, so they've always kind of been like that. I'm a badass. And but yeah, I can see where it's a little hokey. I mean, if I was to like really, I was wondering how they were going to go with this movie. I have to say my least favorite part of it, I loved the style, but my least favorite part of the movie was like the first 15 minutes of like introducing how we're going to get this movie going.
That was definitely dragging.
Yeah, because I thought at first, like once it did start going on for so long, I was like, Are they going to try to make this like a documentary style movie? I was like, oh Lord, this is going to be weird.
It's turned into a whole drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines, though, with Sherry Moon Zombie addressing her, there's a part where they're Otis and Richard Brake. I can't remember his character's name. The half brother. It was like something Wolf.
The Night Wolf Man.
Yeah, something. Anyway, they're talking to this guy in the police force about how what he could do to help him out, and they're like, "Yo, you're gonna help us get baby," and he's like, "It's not possible," and he's like, "I'll tell you what's fucking possible." He's like, "But it's not." He's like, "She is insane. As soon as I get her out of her cuffs, she's going to try to kill me." And it was just like, "Well, yeah, you're right." And I do like the way that he addressed her as what, like Otis, where he's like, he leans over one time when baby gets out of the van, and he's like, "Yeah, she's really wacky these days." I feel like it was very self-aware.
That was funny. It's like even he recognizes that things aren't right because they all act insane. Mm-hmm. He's like, she's gone a little too far.
Yeah. No, overall though, I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It really did it just made me smile seeing those characters on screen again, and the new addition of Richard Brake. I think he did a great fucking job. It wouldn't have been the same, I think, if they just would have left it to Otis and Baby. I think they need another character in there that kind of like a buffer, if you will.
Yeah.
I really did. I loved it. It brought me back to the way I felt whenever Devil's Rejects first did come out, where you're smiling and you're laughing and you're wincing all at the same time, and it's fucked up, but it's so fucking good. Those are my overall thoughts on it before we get into ratings and stuff.
I did like the dude that ran the hotel. With his random mumbling.
Yeah. I couldn't tell at first, like,
almost a boomhauer kind of mumble.
Yeah. I think he got better. I had to warm up to him. Because
when it got to the point where you literally couldn't understand him, that's when I was starting to like him. I was like, oh yeah, that's
run down that now.
Yeah, because I'll say this: whenever we first are introduced to him, I thought, like, just his stature and the way he was sitting there, I was like, that's Sid Haig. I thought they brought him back. I thought they were like gonna make this whole twist, and then I was like, no, it's not Sid Haig. Oh, that's Robert Englund. I'm like, no, it's not Robert Englund either.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, who the fuck is this?
Was it anybody you know, or just?
No, I have no idea who that is. Yeah, I'm sure he's got to be.
I know
somebody.
Rob Zombie gets a lot of like people that don't really do a lot of stuff in his movies.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's kind of like terrible comparison here, but he's kind of like Adam Sandler. He just keeps bringing back the same people. Yeah, and I love it. Like the Mexican little fella or whatever.
Was that I'm
pretty sure
midget, the Nazi midget
in
from
31? Yeah. At least I'm pretty sure. As soon as I seen him, I was like, well, okay, that's got to be him. So one thing to attack this, for those of you who are like, oh man, they're always too careful with movies, this is the movie for you. They are dropping words that you do not expect to see in movies anymore. They are dropping phrases that you do not expect to hear. And no one was fucking offended, and it was great.
Baby's running around in a headdress, a Native American headdress, shooting a bow and arrow. Yeah. I mean, straight up cultural appropriation right there. I mean, just brutal.
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm applauding is the fact of, like, if you are a fucking fan of horror, you expect to see some things, and a lot of those things have been avoided as of late. And then my man Rob Zombie comes back. It's like, nope, we're going back to the 70s.
Awful people, and it's also set in the 70s, so it's like, I feel like the 70s is part of what lets him get away with it.
It's one of those things where you do. I mean, it's like, is it necessary? No, but fucking A, man, it's part of the goddamn genre sometimes. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I loved it. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
You guys got some more stuff you want to talk about?
I think I could wrap what I say up into my rating.
You want to start us off?
Yeah. I've actually kind of gone back and forth. I feel like us talking about it has brought it up for me a little bit, thinking back on it more. I do still have that negative feeling from it, as far as like there's one scene where they're kind of laying in the hotel room and Baby's like, do you ever just think about what it's all for? What's the point? And what's his name with the giant beard? Otis. He's like, I think he asked, are you thinking about the guy that died?
Captain Spaulding.
Captain Spaulding, yes. And she's like, yeah.
Because that was their dad.
Yeah, yeah. And she's like, yeah. And, you know, they have a little discussion. At the end of it, he goes, don't worry, there's a lot of more stuff we can destroy. You know? Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, man, that's
the life.
Yeah, that's what I think about all the time. No, but I mean, you know, like there's some dark, there's a little dark in there, because I like my horror movies to be kind of fun. But this is fun. But at the same time, I think the undertone overall, and I feel that in his movies, there's that dark feeling to him that kind of like just makes you feel kind of sick. You're just like, oh, okay, yeah. And also there was a funny thing where I just wanted to bring up, there's a weird, what they call a weird synchronicity. I made the little video intro earlier, and I mentioned the Three Stooges. And then in the movie, they're watching the Three Stooges. And then after the movie, Patrick brought up the Three Stooges.
Yeah, because it felt like if Three Stooges was doing a horror movie into, well, what would be a Western, is what it felt like to me.
You're talking about just because they're all a little nutty?
Yeah, they're all nutty. They're doing stuff, like their mannerisms was a lot similar to what I felt like it very much related to Three Stooges. To me, just how they acted. Like Baby was crazy one. That would be
Curly.
Mm-hmm.
Otis is Mo.
Yeah, Otis is Mo, and then the other one is
Larry. He's just the one that's sort of to the side, kind of.
And that's ignored. Definitely how I felt it was.
Cool. Yeah. No, that's.
I wish. Yeah. I wish we could ask Rob Zombie. Was any of this inspired? I mean, it's all, they're in the movie.
I imagine
they're watching
so.
the short that is called Disorder in the Court. It is one of their, the most famous episodes.
I feel that was his way of telling us, hey, I was watching this and felt like doing this.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I mean, I picked up on the Three Stooges thing, but I never thought to try to compare them to the characters. So that's cool.
So I just thought that was weird, but I'll give it a 3.5 buckets of popcorn.
Nice. Okay.
So I enjoyed it, not as much as I would have liked, but it's he's definitely got a unique style. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there you go.
You want to go next?
What?
Would you like?
Yeah. I'd give this.
What the fuck just happened, man?
I was just doing that just to fuck with people.
It's just his bit.
He's doing a bit of drugs again. So what are you doing? You're back on the smack.
Oh, if only. No. I give this about. I enjoyed the movie. Didn't enjoy it as much as the first two. But I'm gonna give it about 3.5. Still gonna buy it. But the reason is it just didn't hit me as hard as I remember when when House of 1,000 Corpses come out.
Like God, it was like
2002.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna shoot for like somewhere around.
Because like when I was a kid, like I watched that, terrified me. When I then I rewatched it when I was older, still like kind of hit me hard. Then Devil's Rejects still kind of had that hit to me. But this one just did not have it. I don't know if it's just I'm getting older, seen some shit, and I'm just getting it's just getting numb to me now. I gotta find darker and more terrible stuff to watch, but still enjoyed it. But I give it a 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally. You kind of started summing it up, I think, a little bit better there towards the end of what you were saying. Mm-hmm. There are some of these that I guess I have to be like in a certain mood to watch. Now, obviously, I was going in here like giddy as a fucking schoolgirl because I was so excited to see this finally come. What's the word? Is it fruition?
Come to fruition.
Come to fruition. So this idea that I've heard about for a while, everybody's kind of been wondering. I'm like, fuck yes, it got made. Thank God. So. Honestly, the only thing that I went to theater thinking was just like, please don't fucking let me leave here disappointed. Please don't let this be terrible. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I'm still riding on that cloud. I mean, I will tell you that, as I've said a million times in this, I always stand up for that dude's movies. I fucking love him. I love his choice of actors. I think what he's able to accomplish even with some being like, I even love the ones that are not the best. Like I can recognize like it's like, oh, this is not his best thing, you know, like Lords of Salem. I love that fucking movie. Is it his best? By far, no. But it has. There's just something about his fucking style.
Yeah, I mean, hardly. I mean, the plot of this movie is super simple and it's
extremely.
It's just riding on the three characters,
and that's that is part of the reason
style.
why I was as happy with it, because, like I said, the question for everyone was, how is he going to explain this? And I like that. Simpler the better, I think, in a situation like that. It didn't have to be anything crazy. So yeah, I mean, I am, as of now, I'm going to stick with the 5. I left extremely happy. I had an extremely enjoyable time watching it. I mean, it seems fucked up to say, you know, but I was the entire time just ear to ear, even during the most fucked up stuff. I'm like, classic Rob, you know. And,
that Rob of mine.
Oh, there he goes again. I really loved it.
At my heartstrings.
If I was to point out a couple of complaints, like I said, the beginning, I was like, where are we going with this? I thought that could have been all around. Honestly, I think it could have been executed better.
Tightened up.
I get what they were going with. I think it could have been shortened. I think the writing during the beginning part could have been better. Honestly, I'm really glad that you brought up the scene where Baby and Otis and Black Wolf McGee, whatever, were talking about life, because I did, whenever that was going on, I was like, I get what they're going for, but it was just really, it seemed like very sloppy writing. Either that or Rob may have just been like, all right, you guys are sitting around having a conversation, just do your thing. Let's talk about
killers
life.
hanging out in a hotel.
Which, you know, so because obviously we're not going to spoil the ending, you know, I was like, okay, here's the scene where, you know, you're supposed to get emotionally involved here if you've never followed this family story before, which led me to believe, like, okay, I feel like this is going in a certain direction. I will say it didn't go in that direction, and I'm happy about that. But I feel like I understand why that scene was in there, but I do think it could have been executed better. I think it could have been, you know, handled a little bit better with a little bit more fine tuning on the writing. But
talking about the final showdown kind of thing.
No, I'm talking about that scene where they were all talking about life. That led me to believe, oh,
okay,
this is why they're doing this. This is where we're supposed to really fucking get emotionally attached to our characters. I just feel like it fell short of that. I was worried that was going to lead to a finale that we didn't receive. God, so this is hard.
I know it's hard. No. So you're saying
we're doing so good.
You're
right
not
now.
quite. You're disappointed that it didn't pay off the way you wanted.
No. I'm glad
that
it did not go the way that I thought it was going to. I thought it was gonna go all, you know, like.
I thought it was gonna go that way too.
Yes. Okay, and it didn't. So yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well,
you know, like at the end, spoiling the
you know, at the end of Homeward Bound. I'm just kidding. I'm not even doing this.
Yeah.
We are gonna fucking do that movie one day, though, and the internet's gonna realize that they're fucking wrong. But yeah, no, great time. 5 buckets of popcorn all around for me. Rachel did, because she enjoyed it, so she wanted me to inform you guys. She gives it a 4. Yeah, I'm really happy that she did, because like I said, I thought we were about to lose her for a minute, because I look over and she is.
Why is she gonna what? The things she's seen, and that's. Do you think that's gonna lose her?
That doesn't mean like, dude. I mean, yeah. There's some things that are uncomfortable for some people, and you know.
Okay. I got you.
But I'm one of those people. I like watching movies with people and seeing them have those reactions. Where I'm like, they're in it. You know, like this is striking a nerve. Yeah. So I cannot wait to see what he's gonna do next. You know, I think this is the end of this franchise.
Really?
I do. I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, you might want to edit that out. That's kind of a spoiler in itself, right?
I mean,
we all thought it was going to be the end for the second one.
Yeah,
it's true.
You never know.
It's true. You know,
I mean, Baby is getting on in years. She's
still fucking hot for almost
I'm
50 years old.
Yeah,
you're sure? You just seen her. She's gorgeous.
No,
beautiful.
yeah. I'm not taking anything away from her. I'm just, I'm just saying.
She's not going to be able to hold that together forever.
Not going to be able to hold that together 15 years from now when the
when they decide to make another one. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. No more popcorn.
go out and see it.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I
Patrick.
believe we're still holding that contest, by the way.
Yeah. So Patrick and I got a little weird and funky and made a video while Nathan was gone on vacation. Which, by the way, good to have you back.
I got us one subscriber.
Nice, cool.
Thank you.
But yeah, we're just trying to get to 50, which is we just need like 8 more.
Yeah.
And then in exchange, you get a fucking copy of Suburban Command.
Yeah.
On VHS. Pristine
I'm gonna make
condition.
a bunch of alt accounts. I want that copy. Suburban Commando.
Nice.
You gotta do
another awesome comment on that.
You gotta do a video comment, is what Brian said. Video comment.
Oh yeah. Well, at this point,
Yeah,
just a comment. If you want a video comment. Then,
Okay. Yeah. Comment and 50 subscribers.
Yeah.
We'll pick somebody randomly.
Yes. Yeah. So I encourage people go out and watch this movie.
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely. Go check it out. You got 2 days to do it.
Get it while you can.
Get it while you can.
Except been no more popcorn now.
That's it.
That's it. We're no
We
more
have
popcorn.
been no more popcorn.
Yeah. And 3 from Hell is certified popcorn.
Oh
yeah. God, that movie sucked so bad.